Losing Bravo.
Come after me, come after me. Ha! Come after me. Alright guys, it's your boy Glenn A here, back with another Call of Duty mobile video. And in today's video, we are going to go over my HUD layout and sensitivity settings because you guys have been asking for it. So that's what we're going to do today. Alright, so first, hopping into basic, we are going to go over all the buttons that I have toggled on and off and why I have them on. So I have aim assist on. Everybody uses aim assist, so that's no surprise. I mostly snipe, so it doesn't really give me that much of an advantage, so that's why I have it on. Quick run from prone position, because when you're proning, you don't want to stand up and then run off. You just want to sprint out of that prone position, so that's why I have that on. So another important something someone has asked me, why do I not have fixed joystick on? I understand that having fixed joystick on makes it a lot more responsive, but I found with myself that I am terribly inconsistent as to where I have my left thumb when moving. So I've made an option to not have that on because it has messed me up in so much other instances, so I just have that on. I also use the prone button, so I have toggled that off, set hide prone button, so I have it on off, so it shows me when I'm in play. So as you guys know, I use hip fire, and in order to get the maximum out of using hip fire, you have to scope in then shoot. So I have tap and hold to ADS, so the moment I hold it down, it's ADS. In the moment I take my finger off it, it scopes back out. So I have that toggled on. And the next important setting that I have is FOV. Now, FOV is super important as a sniper because when you scope in, you want to be able to see the opponent as clearly as possible. And when you scope out, you don't want the image to be cropped in way too much, or you're seeing way too much field of view, so everything looks super small to you. So I found that 63 is right in that sweet spot where it's good enough to see everything in front of me while not blocking everything out. So that's why I have it there. Now, hopping into the layout first, let's check customs. As you can see guys, I have everything on hip fire. Assault rifles, SMG, shotguns, LMG, sniper rifles, pistols, and the marksman rifle. I have everything to hip fire because as you guys know, I use hip fire to shoot. Alright, so heading into my layout. Now, I use 4-finger claw, and I play on a Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus. You guys may have a different device, so this layout may or may not suit the device that you guys use, but this is just how I have done it and how I feel comfortable using it since I've started using 4-finger claw. I've started using 4-finger claw about 2 months now, and this is the best layout that I've found that suits me perfectly. So on the left, I use my left index finger to fire, so that's why you see my fire button is right there, and also my knife button right there. As you can see up here, I have my ADS button blurred out because I don't use it, but I used to use it, and that is where it was, so I've just blurred it out. As you can see how big my shoot button is because I do not ever want to miss that button, so that's why I have it that big, just in case I ever move off course or anything like that. So that's why I have it there. And also I've found this size is 92, between 92 and 90 and 100, it's the size that I found to put my movement button, because as I said, I don't use fixed joystick, so wherever I press on the screen, the movement button will automatically go there. So I have it to a relatively small enough range, so I can quickly, if I'm strafing, I can strafe from side to side easily without it being slow or unresponsive. So I have it to that, and that's comfortable for me. As you can see, guys, my prone button is right here. I used to have it up in the top right because I used to use my index finger to press crouch, jump, and prone, but since I've started using 4-finger claw, it's a little bit too much, so I've put it down to the bottom left, and I rarely use it unless I'm reloading my sniper or I'm using a machine gun, which I rarely do nowadays. But if I'm ever in a situation where I need to drop shot, I use that because it's a lot faster than holding crouch and sliding down. So I found that a little bit more helpful for me. It may not be that for you guys, but that's how I have it. And as you can see, all the buttons are relatively like a medium to large size. That's how I have found it easy for my fingers to land on them, so that's what I have. So up in the top right corner, I have my crouch, jump, and my scoping button, as those are the 3 buttons that I've tasked my right index finger to be in charge of. So I've placed them in a way where they're easy for me to reach and where they are big enough for me to easily monitor. Remember, I'm playing on a Samsung Galaxy X9 Plus. I have relatively large hands, so these are the areas where I found them easily accessible to me. And I play with my phone on a tripod stand, so I fit my phone on it and I hold from the sides with I play with my charger plugged in because I found it, even if it's not charging, I play with it plugged in for most of the times because I have it between my ring finger on my right hand and my middle finger because that's where it's most comfortable to me. Further, top right, you can see my settings, my emote button, my mic, speaker, and my chat button. That's where I have them because I've found them useful in that area. It's out of the way and easily accessible to me, so that's where I have them. And you can see here I have my specialist button. It's basically in the same position as it was in the default settings. I've just made it a little bit bigger and moved it down a little, as it's one of the buttons that I use my right thumb to operate, along with the reload button and the toggle button for between the tactical and the lethal. Now down at the bottom I have my weapons button and also for my score streaks. It's basically in the same position as it was in the default settings. I've just made it a little bit smaller, just a little bit smaller. And over here I have my cancel grenade button and my get grenade return button. I don't ever use those, so I've just had them sitting over there because I don't use them. And up here I have my map in the center of the screen, nothing special about that. I've just put it in an area where I can clearly see it and it doesn't affect the rest of the buttons around, and at a size where I can see everything without having to struggle. Okay, for the final thing, and what I consider to be one of the most important things in my HUD setup, is that auto sprint button in the middle of the screen. Guys, you do not understand how much this helps. This has helped me with my aiming so much since I've dedicated most of my gameplays to sniping. It is a tremendous tool to have, and I highly recommend it if you guys have any sort of trouble like aiming or getting your crosshair aligned properly. It helps so much because it gives you like a bigger surface area to use and aim, and it is a tremendous help. So I highly recommend you guys doing it. And with that said, jumping into my sensitivity settings, this has been a question that I've been getting recently. Glenn, let's see your sensitivity settings. So this is it. So before I went to 4-finger layout, I was using speed acceleration instead of distance acceleration because I thought that was the best. And I used to play on super high sensitivity, but since I've gotten used to sniping and I've made a few adjustments, I realized that low sensitivity is the best when sniping for me personally. So I have my acceleration value at 40. That's just like the sweet spot where I found it useful for me. I've switched while opening it, so this means that if you're moving around normally, the crosshair movement will be at 1 sensitivity, and when you start to ADS, it will change the value that you have set before while ADSing. So down here for my camera sensitivity, I have 70, 60, 80, 50, and 100 for the tactical scope. That's where I've messed around. I haven't touched like from the 4 times down to the 8. But the most important sensitivity for me right here is the sniper scope, which is at 50. Usually, before I was playing with 4-finger layout, this was at 150, 160. I had it super high, and I thought that was the best for me. But since I've had a little bit more playtime with the sniper, I've realized that this low sensitivity is the best for me, and I've gotten used to it so much. Alright, firing standard sensitivity 60, ADS 50, tactical scope 89, and again sniper scope sensitivity at 50. As I said, I don't really mess around with the tactical scopes that much, but those are the values, and I do not use gyroscope. Yeah, I don't really find myself fancying that, so that's what I set up for it. Alright, so that's it for my sensitivity settings. Alright guys, that's it for this video. It's been fun sharing my HUD layout and my sensitivity settings with you guys. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll respond to you as quickly as I can and with the best advice that I have for you guys. And yeah, that's been it for the video. Please guys, hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 100 by the end of the month. I'd really appreciate it. With that said, see you guys next time.